So the next speaker is a man that I met also a couple of years ago, first adopting Bitcoin Cape Town conference. And since then, we started engaging about education, because education is, as we all know, without knowing what you don't know, you can't do better. And I always say, even if it's you're talking to an individual, you're talking to a full classroom, or you're talking to a policy maker, if you do not have the ability to give them the information that you have and they make the wrong decision, that's on you for not being able to disseminate that information. And as an educator that has ran a couple of cohorts in Namibia for the specific institution, if we'd like to call it that, I'd like you to ask you to help me welcome Josef Tětek to the stage, who is the lead of Trezor Academy. Josef.
Thank you. Sorry? Do you have slides? Yeah, I should have some slides. Yeah.
Josef's got a book on sale downstairs. It's called The Separation of Money and State.
Yeah, that's right. Separation of money and state. That's what we need to do. That's what we're doing here. So, Trezor Academy. Last year, I was here giving more of a motivational speech why we're doing what we're doing, why we're doing like Bitcoin education across Africa, mostly Africa and Latin America. So this year, I wanted to do something else. And that's like a little update what we've been up to over the past 12 months and what we are about to do in the next year. So, yeah. So what is Trezor Academy? It's a Bitcoin educational program by Trezor, the company, but it's a non-profit educational program by the company that aims to foster Bitcoin adoption and Bitcoin understanding in the global south, or a term I'm liking even more nowadays, global majority, because that's what it is. So, and how we do it is with a very local, decentralized approach, a Hayekian approach, if you like the previous speaker hinted at. That's very important, because we look for local Bitcoin educators like Oken here, like Mike or Josh over there, who can explain Bitcoin in the local context for their peers in the local community. So we need Bitcoin to be understood in local contexts, local languages, using local tools, like, for example, if we're talking Kenya, then learning about Tando, and it doesn't make sense for people, for example, in South Africa to learn about Tando, because that's just very local. So that's what we do. That's our program. That's the core part of Trezor Academy. I look for local Bitcoin educators, and we run like physical Bitcoin meetups with these people. But the second part of Trezor Academy is also establishing strategic partnerships with programs that are already running and already have their own thing, like, for example, Bitcoin Dada in Kenya, because they do specific kind of Bitcoin education for women only. And we don't really know how to do that. So sometimes it's better to just basically sit back and support these initiatives that already are established and do a great job. So we partner with initiatives like African Bitcoiners, like a Pan-African Bitcoin education, Bitcoin Dada, Bitcoin Kids. That's a book by Cameroonian author Zonda Fotsing. You can check out the book at our booth downstairs. We are also partnering with the conference Bitcoin Afrique. That's the Francophone Bitcoin conference, happened last year in Cameroon. This year it's going to be in Burkina Faso. Also by Zonda Fotsing, the author of the Bitcoin Kids book. He's running this French-speaking Bitcoin conference, Burkina Faso this year, so check it out. And also I'm very happy that we could partner with Adopting Bitcoin Cape Town this year. So some numbers behind this program. Over the past year, we ran 50 programs. That's the program of our own, so physical meetups. Each program is 3 consecutive meetups, so that's about 150 meetups that we did through our local educators, mostly in Africa. There's about 1,000 graduates. The slide is a little bit broken, but we can still see the numbers. 26 countries in total, and as you can see, like most of them in Africa, 18 in Africa, 5 in Latin America, some Caribbean and some Asia, but the main focus is Africa. And we distributed over 500 books. And that's just numbers, but what is even more interesting to me are like the qualitative, basically, impacts that we have. So there's a couple of pictures here. I was very happy that we could bring a couple of our educators to Prague in October when there was like a new product launch of the new Trezor device. So we could bring Nzonda, the author of the Bitcoin Kids book. We could bring Belly from Burundi, Brendan from Uganda, and Linda from Kenya. And we had like a very nice... We had a very nice panel discussion about Bitcoin adoption in Africa and the challenges that the educators face and how Bitcoin is perceived in Africa. And I think that's very interesting to have these conversations in the Western countries like Czech Republic, Prague, because the Bitcoin adoption that we see in Africa is a very different flavor than what we see in the West. So I really love to bring these people to Czech Republic or perhaps in the future other conferences, and for Western Bitcoiners to be exposed to these ideas. Beside the panel that we did, I'm very happy we could translate my book, The Separation of Money and State, into Swahili, a language that's used, for example, in Kenya or the eastern part of Africa. We did it in collaboration with Exanumia, a very great project. I don't have the book here, but you can download it for free, or if you need the book for your Bitcoin education and you need the Swahilian version, just let me know, and I will be happy to send you a couple dozen books. Also, we supported the Most Impactful African Bitcoiners Awards that were given out in Mauritius in December. And also, one personal highlight is we have this car in Ghana. It's called Bitcoinetta West Africa. We launched it back in 2023. Then we had some issues with the car. It was sort of it disappeared for some while. And in the end, we found it again. And it has a new operator now. And it's operating around Kumasi in Ghana. So if there's if there's Bitcoiners from Ghana, reach out, and maybe we can have the car coming to your community, and it's very impressive if you see it in action. So further impacts, and these I really like. I reached out to our educators to give me some highlights, what they've seen Trezor Academy doing for them. So I selected 4 of those stories. The first one is the impact on the educators itself, because I'm really happy to observe that the Trezor Academy program started to empower strong individualists, strong characters like Linda here. And she's from Kenya. She's been our Trezor Academy educator for a couple of years now. We did quite a lot of cohorts together. And so she says, with the academic support, I've grown Bitcoin education around my university. What is really great, she could secure backing from other initiatives or companies like Blink, seeded Bitcoin clubs around the country, around Kenyan universities, and began onboarding women to accept Bitcoin. So that's a very nice story. A little bit broken, but I will read it through. Another very interesting story is Dal from Burundi. It's a French-speaking small African country, and we run Bitcoin education there with BTC Schule and Free Tech Institute. Belly from Burundi is here at the conference as well, and so they had a student at the Trezor Academy meetups called Dal, and he says, after completing the 3 courses, I began my career in the Bitcoin ecosystem. He's currently a contributor to the Plan B network, where he translates educational content into Kirundi, the local language used in Burundi. And in addition, I have created a small local journal through which I share the latest Bitcoin news. So this is really interesting because, of course, we empower the educators like Linda, but we also empower the students like Dal here, who through the program and through getting to know about Bitcoin in the local context, started his career in Bitcoin, which otherwise would probably be, I imagine, hard for someone in Burundi. And he basically is spreading this local approach further because he's he established like a local journal that's giving out like Bitcoin news. This is great. This is precisely what we want to see. Another great story is from Botswana. This is Nae, the salsa instructor. Josh, our Bitcoin educator in Botswana, likes the salsa dancing. And Nae, she's from Cuba and living in Botswana. And she needed to send funds to her family in Cuba from Botswana. And as you can imagine, like this payment corridor is probably non-existent. It's probably impossible to send fiat from Botswana to Cuba. Maybe it is in some way possible, but you would be hit probably with crazy fees and crazy delays. So, and this is a really great story because Josh, our educator in Botswana, reached out to Forte, our educator in Cuba, and they discussed how it could be done. And Forte recommended the LN peer-to-peer bot on Telegram, through which you can do a remittance over the Bitcoin payment rail, and the family of Nae in Cuba can receive some support from Botswana. And what's also even more interesting is that Nae now prefers payments in Bitcoin for her salsa classes, because that way she doesn't even have to convert the fiat, what do you have, Botswana Pula, right? She doesn't have to convert it to Bitcoin first. So it's a very nice incentive for her to start earning Bitcoin. And yeah, the last story is from Kibera. You can see Ronnie here around the conference as well. That's in Kenya. And there was a nice shift of perception in Kibera. And Kibera is like an informal settlement in Nairobi. Very, very poor environment, I would say. And so a lot of people in Kibera had this impression that Bitcoin is just a tool for the elite, for like a middle or higher classes to save in, to speculate on and stuff. And Trezor Academy tries to dispel these misconceptions about Bitcoin. So, as Ronnie says, through practical contextual education, Bitcoin was reframed as a tool for financial resilience. And what I would love to see, Ronnie says, Trezor Academy functions as a powerful bootstrap mechanism for Bitcoin circular economies, which, like, this conference has a very strong focus on circular economy. So it's great that we actually seem to be contributing to that. So now someone might have the impression that, yeah, it's nice, just a couple of stories, but there's 1.5 billion people in Africa. But in the immortal words of Linkin Park, it starts with one. This all started with one person, one individual, Satoshi, who planted the seed for all of us. So what we do in Trezor Academy, and what I think like every Bitcoin educator basically does, is planting these seeds from which like the local Bitcoin economies and Bitcoin circular economies grow. So I believe what we do is quite important in this aspect, and that's why I chose this approach of sharing the individual stories. So what do we plan for 2026? Still a couple of minutes left. It's going to be exciting because right after this conference, we're doing the road trip. I've been coming to these road trips since 2 years ago, and each of these road trips really opened up my eyes to what actual real Bitcoin education looks like on the ground in poorer environments like Bitcoin Akase, but also in the affluent environments like Bitcoin Vicent. And I think it's very important for people to experience that, to see how Bitcoin adoption actually works in practice in various kinds of environments. So we're doing this trip. I'm proud to say that we could sponsor that. So there's going to be like a really nice Trezor Academy logo on the bus. And if you can't make it, we have our videographer, and we're going to shoot a little documentary, and we'll share all the footage with Herman and the Adopting Bitcoin Cape Town team, so they will use it as they see fit. So you will see these stories as well. Right. So what we're also doing this year is supporting Brendan from Uganda, who acquired the Starlight School in Uganda. So we're just helping out Brendan to further develop that school. It's a great story. Follow him, Bitcoin Kampala Uganda, or Orphans of Uganda, and I think he's still about to have his talk today or tomorrow. Check out the program and just be sure to hear in Brendan's words what he's doing in Uganda. Another thing that was kind of missing from the African Bitcoin ecosystem is a podcast that would focus just like on all the stories around Africa. There's been a couple. I know Jesse has a Hash Rate Up podcast that's more about like the mining side of Bitcoin. There have been like some tries in the past to have like some Pan-African Bitcoin podcast. So I hope this one will work, and I believe it will, because it's being hosted by Citrus Trade from Nigeria. And these guys have been doing Twitter Spaces for some time now, quite popular ones. So we are supporting the Bitcoin Around Africa podcast. And I just saw on Twitter that the first episode is dropping in a couple of days. So make sure to follow them and check it out. Plus, there is one very cool thing that we are about to do and support this year. But I was forbidden from telling you more. And we will reveal what that secret thing is in the closing remarks tomorrow, I believe, like 5 p.m., like the final session of the conference. So be there. It's going to be very interesting, very exciting. So, yeah, if you think that what we do here is interesting, whether it's like the meetups that we do or the partnerships we establish, get in touch. We are looking for on-the-ground Bitcoin educators and also the projects to partner with, whether it's podcasts, books, probably we will do another like translations of various books, or educational initiatives that are already established. This is just our Twitter account, but the DMs are open and you can reach out. Thank you. And we have a Trezor Academy table down there. We have some merch, but not that much, so it's probably going to be sold out soon. But you can go there and you can buy a raffle ticket. We are doing like a lightning raffle where you buy a ticket from your Lightning wallet, like Blink, and then we will draw the prizes both days, 5:30 p.m., and you have a chance to win Trezor devices. We don't have any other devices here besides the raffle ones, so you have a chance to win the new Trezor devices, Trezor Safe 5 and 3, and also the books and some merch and stuff. So yeah, make sure to stop by our booth. It's manned by 2 girls from Soweto. Michael here brought 2 of his students from Soweto. So yeah, just make sure to stop by. And thank you very much.